So I wanted to talk today about a lot of the stuff that's going on in the UK and the EU, hence the title. So many people are leaving at the moment, and it's no real surprise when you see a lot of the news coming out. This one just came out the other day from the Telegraph. So if you fly into the EU very shortly, they said that you're going to have to be fingerprinted. So this is a new thing coming out from the EU. They're going to, every single person, if you want to enter the EU, they need to take your fingerprints and a facial scan of you. They were also talking about iris scans as well, but it doesn't look like the iris scan is going to be going ahead. Good. But it's saying that this is what's going to happen. And EasyJet CEO's just come out and hasn't had some good things to say about it, of course. But yeah, they're saying there's definitely going to be fingerprinting, definitely going to be scanning. They're going to be registering all of this, putting it on a large database. Why exactly, it's not clear, but they're saying they're going to be keeping this huge database. This is going to be at all EU airports and the port of Dover. So it'll be ports as well. Pretty much, it doesn't talk about land border crossings, but it does talk about ports and airports. So this is one thing that just came out. Another one was, and this is showing you what's happening right across the EU and the UK here. So another one that I just read today, Berlin has just frozen the school budgets across Berlin because they said they haven't got enough money for the schools because they've got a 1.3 billion euro expenditure on migrant housing in the summer. So they said that they've had to freeze schools, trips, budget constraints, all of these other things here. The freeze follows the Berlin House of Representatives decision to allocate an additional 1.3 billion for the accommodation of migrants. And this is obviously raising concerns. They're saying now they're raising concerns on increased crime, but also decreased education. And they're concerned now about school pupils are not going to have what they need in schools. And you think that's maybe an isolated case. Well, the BBC has just come out with a story as well. Councils in London are at financial breaking point. Some boroughs are warning they could be on the cusp of a financial collapse without more government funding. This is what they've said then. Collectively, London's 33 local authorities, which deliver everything from street cleaning, libraries and parks, to statutory duties like bin collections, housing the homeless, caring for vulnerable adults and children. What did they leave out? You know exactly what they left out. Are expected to overspend by more than 600 million this financial year alone, and this is according to London Councils, a group representing local authorities in the capital. They said the funding gap is likely to be over 700 million next year, and they need more help from the government for what they call, what word are they using here? It says, I can't remember the term, but it's one of these new terms. It says irregular arrivals or something like that. So this is the elephant in the room that a lot of them are not talking about. We've already got a lot of councils. And remember, we correlated that graph with those councils that are declaring bankruptcy. There's up to 14 in the UK that are declaring bankruptcy. Although the UK government, wink wink, said that they have bailed them out, they have funded them now, which is kind of a little bit of nonsense if you understand why. The Bank of England kind of did some interesting stuff there in order for the government to bail out these councils, but there's still some of them. Croydon has gone bankrupt 3 times now, and they just get this sort of clean slate all over again. But another one that's just come out from Germany, again, it said their medication shortages are now at third world levels. And this is a warning from health officials and the pharmaceutical union. They've said then, in fact, here's another one. Andreas Gassen, chairman of the National Association of Statutory Health Insurance Physicians, issued a stark warning, declaring the medication supply in Germany is currently at the level of a third world country. And then there's all these other warnings from all these different people now. They're saying that Germany has sort of outsourced too much of their medication production to other countries like China, and now Germany is having difficulties actually importing all of this medication. Now, I remember when Germany was a market leader in pharmaceuticals. I remember medical machinery and equipment. Germany was a market leader in all of these things, and now they seem to be really struggling with even getting basic stuff. It says, and this is the one that makes no sense, it says the biggest shortage that they have across Germany and that they have to send the most patients home for is a lack of saline. So they're saying there isn't enough saline, and that the solution just isn't available, so they're having to send people home. Over to the UK then, Keir Starmer has made his announcement that he's going to get all of these people that are at home sick, unable to work, he's going to get them all back into work. If you've seen this, you've probably already had a bit of a laugh about this one. He's got this master plan which includes weight loss injections. Yes, he's saying that if people want to get their benefits and all these other things, then they'll need to potentially get these weight loss injections. What is it with the UK? Well, it's not just the UK, but what is it with injections? They just love telling people, hey, if you want this job or you want to come back to this job, you need to get these injections. So he's saying that, and as all, if you actually read the articles, it's some of the stuff's pretty nasty what they're using. So they've got psychologists to write and do a lot of this stuff. So they're saying that it's basically persuasion techniques, saying that people are, all of these people are lazy. They're trying to make out as if everyone is lazy, when we all know that, yeah, there's always lazy people. Of course, there's lazy people everywhere. But is that the reason that 100% of these people are off sick? No, of course not. Some of them are going to be obese through bad diet choices and things like that. And that's the funny thing. Why is it that they're not pledging all this money for dietitians and a countrywide campaign to help people to eat more healthy? Why are they not pushing more healthy food and helping the farmers and subsidies? Instead, what do? They allow all these really unhealthy, massive conglomerates to take over the supermarkets. They put all this red tape all over farm shops and everything else. So it's a real struggle. Even the lady who, I have my own chickens, as you know, but I used to buy eggs from a lady all the time. I used to buy every week eggs from her, free range eggs, and eventually she got shut down. They said she didn't have a license to sell eggs. The stuff they come up with. So yeah, they're trying to say that they haven't pledged anything for exercise or any of the other stuff. No, it's an injection. Yes. So they say that this is going to save the government a lot of money. Well, I've gone through all the statistics on this, and how exactly it's going to save a lot of money, I'm not sure, because it's going to cost by 2030, I've got it somewhere here. It's something like $100 billion. Yeah, here it is. I've got it. The numbers says it's going to cost 115 billion pounds by 2030. 115 billion pounds by 2030. But they're saying the study suggests, and if you look into who did the study, I'm pretty sure it's probably funded by the pharma companies or subsidiaries of the pharma companies. But they said that, yes, it's going to cost over £100 billion, but it's going to save the NHS £2 or £3 billion over the long run. So it's a good investment. Not really spending over £100 billion to save £2 or £3 billion. And where's the guarantee? Are they going to guarantee this? Of course not. There's never a guarantee. So all this stuff that's coming out at the minute, is baffling. They said they go, and there's all these warnings from doctors, but of course, good luck finding them, because there's nothing here. I'm on different websites from the BBC through. I can't see any warnings from doctors here, even though I've seen that online. I saw it on some alternative platforms about these injections. I mean, how long have these injections been around? Have they even been tested properly? But no, the latest government said that this is it. They're going to give all these weight loss injections to get people back into work, because that is the solution to the economical problems in the UK. It's getting people back to work, apparently, according to them. Now, another one that kind of pretty serious business here. So we've talked a lot about the ULEZ and how they started with this one zone and then they pushed it out to the larger area. And there's been a lot of independent studies that say that it hasn't actually helped the pollution levels and everything else that they said it did. But the government study said this has worked perfectly, that the levels are down. This is reduced it by 80%. Climate stuff. I mean, they're saying this is the magic bullet, basically, the silver bullet, and that is it. So they want to spread this. They're looking to spread this nationwide. They've already done it to a lot of other cities. It's crazy. Now, I know a lot of people said, like I said, well, I'm never going to pay one of these fines. If I got one, I wouldn't pay it. Well, that's what happened. A lot of people didn't pay it. So now TfL has seized 1,400 vehicles from drivers and they have auctioned these vehicles. But not just that, they have also recouped £25 million from British citizens via bailiffs. You should see some of these stories. It is brutal, some of the stories here of the bailiffs just going, I mean, you've got to know the tricks. You've got to know the tricks of this stuff. You even leave the door open a crack and they're in. I'm sure there's some bailiffs watching. They'll tell you some of the tricks here. But some of this stuff is brutal. That are some of these stories. People that didn't pay, the bailiffs came round to their house and basically stripped the house to make them pay. But it said that of the 1,429 vehicles that were seized, it only raised £710,000. From the sale of 800 of these vehicles. And they've put out a warning. They said that they're now linking it to your credit rating. They're going to link it to all sorts of things, even job searches. They can look if you've had any, it's not a crime, but they said that they're going to link it even if people do job searches on you, if you have any of these and you haven't paid them. I mean, this is really becoming like North Korea. Truly is. We also had this out. This was the top 10 nationalities among foreign prisoners now in the UK. I could believe it when I saw it. But of the UK prison population now, 50% is not of British nationals. So what I mean by that is these are people. It doesn't mean someone who's a second generation or anything like that. It means people who do not hold a British passport, right? Who are in British prisons. 12% of the entire population is Albanian. 9% is Polish. Sorry to my Polish viewers. 9% is Polish. I'm surprised about that one. Romanian, 7%. Irish, 6%. Jamaican, 4%. Pretty surprising, some of these, some of the people in here. I thought it was going to be very different to this. But but it's 50% now, 50-50 in UK prisons. Serbia has just made an announcement as well, the PM of Serbia. He said that he is going to be applying for BRICS membership. This is really causing a lot of issues. I think EU Parliament are going to be discussing this in the coming days because, and here's the irony of it, the EU Parliament wouldn't allow Serbia into the EU. They've been applying for years and they wouldn't permit them in. So now he said, the Deputy Prime Minister, Alexander Vulin, he said that he's now going to be applying for BRICS membership instead. And he said that he's already had the conversation, they're very receptive to it, and that he said BRICS membership doesn't require us to change our laws to give up the, what does that say, Republika Srpska. Someone who's Serbian, tell me what that means. Or recognize Kosovo's independence. We're not forced to wave the Ukrainian flag or legalize same-sex marriages. There's no pressure to impose sanctions or hand over our foreign policy decisions. BRICS offers massive economic potential. It controls 51% of the world's gas, 47% of oil, and is already surpassed the G7 in GDP, and it's only going to grow, which is exactly what I've been saying for years, that the G7 has really peaked and you're going to see BRICS overtaking it. It's going to be a crazy world coming up. So that is out of Serbia then. And I don't know if you saw this over the last few days, but Boeing, who we've been watching very closely, Boeing, yes, they're now going to cut 17,000 jobs. And they're saying this is due to the losses from the factory strike. Well, I half believe that, but I really think that it's a lot deeper than that. It's not just from these factory strikes. This is all AI and automation, remember that. And we talked about the longshore workers in the US who are back to work at the moment, but they were fighting for no AI, no automation. Well, I was just talking to someone yesterday and they told me something that I wasn't aware of, that they're Chinese, and they were talking about I don't know if it was one of their ports or a lot of their ports are now 100% fully automated. They just have engineers running it. And it said that it was like, I mean, obviously I don't know how accurate what he told me was, but he says like 3 to 4 times faster, more efficient. There's been no injuries, there's no deaths, etc. And I thought that was quite interesting because I think we're going to see a lot more of this automation. It's pretty obvious. And you look at Boeing and cutting all these workers. Well, why are they really cutting the workers? I think it's to save on, well, it's to save money. Not that they need to save money because they're a very profitable company, but they're actually doing it to save or to add to shareholder value. So that's really the real reason. And then, I don't know if you saw this out of Euronews, but it's companies now are firing Gen Z or Gen Z at such a fast rate. It's almost unbelievable. And I was looking at some of the pictures here. I know you can't see them on screen, but it's like people. There's a guy here with blue hair. He's wearing a pink like blouse. There's a woman here. She's got red hair, long hair. They're all in the same office. They're all dressed really, really like weird and crazy in an office setting. And then the older people next to them are all in business suits and look really smart. You got a woman in a really nice business attire as well. With these other people who are just dressed really, really crazy. And they've done this survey then, and it says that, where is it, 1,000 hiring managers, here it is. They're basically saying that they're not going to be hiring Gen Z or Gen Z anymore. And here's the reasons why. They said lack of motivation or initiative, that was the biggest reason. Unprofessional, no organizational skills, very bad communication skills. They couldn't take feedback and got angry or emotionally upset, and then they needed time off because of the feedback. I can't imagine that. That would be wild. No experience, very poor problem solving skills, bad attitudes, cannot work into. I mean, there's all this stuff that's coming out. And I kind of, on the other side, I do feel sorry for a lot of the Gen Z, Gen Z. Some of them, not all, but I don't mean the sort of entitled, unusual ones that we meet on a daily basis, but some of them, I think they just haven't been well prepared for the business, the world that we are now moving into, especially as we see job losses, not job gains, as a result of AI and automation. I think it's a case of parents and the school system and whatever else preparing them for this new world that we are moving into. It's the first time, because I'm streaming right through my phone here, that I can actually see how many people are online. Look at that. There's almost 1,400 people online. That's pretty cool. I never know how many are online. I mean, for me, there could be 100 people watching. I wouldn't know. It could be 5,000. I wouldn't know. So it's good to see the comments on the screen today and see how many of you are online. All right. Well, that's it. Take care. God bless you guys. I'll see you next time.